My name is Paul Dalzell, and I am the worship coordinator of this, the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Charleston. Thank you for joining us today. We have a legacy of deeds, not creeds. Our very symbol, the flaming chalice, was created to help hundreds of thousands of refugees and immigrants leave Nazi Germany through the port of Lisbon, Portugal, by the Unitarian Service Committee. And our own Unitarian Universalist Association president, Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt, was arrested by Capitol Police last Thursday as she protested the Department of Homeland Security budget with leaders from various religious traditions. Deeds, not creeds, with love at the center. Please join us in singing our welcome song. We sing it through twice. And if you feel comfortable doing so, greet those around you with a smile, a nod, or a hello. The words are in your order of service and will be on the screens.
Whoever you are, we welcome you. Wherever you come from, we welcome you. Whomever you love, we welcome you. Whoever you are, we welcome you. Wherever you come from, we welcome you. Whomever you love, we welcome you.
Please do check your insert for announcements for goings on here at UUC this coming week and in the near future. And we have a gentleman who is collecting coats and blankets, is that correct, for the warming center? Yeah. Yeah. You're welcome. For our chalice lighting this morning, we have The Chalice is a Symbol by Deborah Falk. Please read it in unison with me as I light our chalice. A chalice is lit in our midst and is a symbol of our liberal faith. Faith built on freedom, reason, and tolerance. A faith sustained by the acts of kindness. A faith that envisions a world flourishing with equality for all her people. A faith that demands the living out of goodness. A faith that requires thoughtfulness, a faith of wholeness. This tiny flame is a symbol of the spark of all this within us. Our first song for all is Come, Come, Whoever You Are. Please rise in voice, body, and spirit as you are willing and able. The lyrics should be also on the screens.
And it's number 188.
And we can do it as a round. Sam's going to lead it, and I'll come in where number 2 is on page 188.
We'll sing it through first, and then if you want to sing it as a round, people on this side of the room can sing with me, and people on that side of the room can sing with Mike. Come on in.
So how many times? We're going to do it 3 times, once together and twice as a round?
Come in, just in time to sing. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Whoever of leaving, ours is no
Ours is no caravan of despair. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come.
Thank you. We come to this sanctuary, whether in person or virtually, to connect with our community, sharing our joys, our celebrations, our sorrows, our concerns, our peace, and our needs helps our community become closer and stronger. And that is the community we all need in these times. We have a Joy for the Foot Mad concert. And also for this and all the communities we are a part of. For those we hold close, those who care, those we care for. We have sorrows for all those who are unhoused, and for the sad hearts of those who condemn them and make their lives harder. For all these joys and sorrows, both spoken and unspoken, may we remember shared joy is multiplied and shared sadness is diminished. Seem to have skipped over our covenant. Let's go ahead and read that together, if you would. Love is the spirit of our faith and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. And now let's take a moment just to sit and breathe, to meditate, to ponder, to pray if you wish, but most of all, to sit here in community. Please relax in your chairs. Place your feet firmly on the floor. Square your shoulders. Feel free to close your eyes or unfocus them or gaze into our chalice flame. Don't just do something. Sit there. Breathe. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Settle into this moment, this space. Spirit of life and love, we are here because we believe what we do matters. We are here because we believe how we live our life matters. That with every act of kindness or meanness, courage or fear, love or hate, we are weaving the fabric of the universe that holds us all. We are here because we need encouragement, because we need strength, because so often we get distracted, we get in a rush, we don't think. We choose the easy way, when the harder path is what our spirits truly long for. We are here because none of us is perfect, but together we inspire one another to try again, to take another step. We are here because we have felt the stirrings of love and grace in our hearts and hands, and we crave more than that for ourselves, and not only for ourselves, but for everyone. We are here because how we live matters. Cruelty is the point. Adam Serwer said that in 2018, and then later wrote a book with the same name. Adam is a staff writer for The Atlantic magazine. He has received numerous awards for journalism. To many, our most shocking political crises appear unprecedented, un-American even, but they are not. The January 6th insurrection, anti-immigrant sentiment, and the American authoritarianism all have historic roots. White supremacy's profound influence on our political system. Looking at the persistence of the lost cause, the past and present of police unions, the mythology of migration, and the many faces of anti-Semitism. In my never humble opinion, the cause of this cruelty is not only white supremacy, but also the Christian nationalistic patriarchy on which many of our leaders base their very ethos. If you've ever seen pictures of lynchings, you've noticed the crowds of men, women, and children all gathering to be in the picture and grinning. They're proud to be seen with these bodies of black people, sometimes women and children hanging dead. The cruelty is the point. You can see the same pride in the faces of Nazis and photos of death camps like Auschwitz. And you may have seen that same look on the face of the CBP agent when he clapped his hands after the shooting of Alex Preddy. I included part of J.B. Pritzker's 2023 Northwestern University commencement speech as the centering words in your order of service. In his speech, he referenced the show The Office several times. Here's a longer quote from that speech. Whenever I'm about to do something, I think, would an idiot do that? And if they would, I do not do that thing. That's Dwight Schrute from The Office. The entire efficacy of this incredibly useful piece of information hinges upon your ability to pick the right idiot. I wish there was a foolproof way to spot idiots. But counterintuitively, some idiots are very smart. They can dazzle you with words and misdirection. They can get promoted above you at work. They can even be elected president. If you want to be successful in this world, you have to develop your own idiot detection system. As part of the responsibilities of being your commencement speaker, I'm going to share mine. Sure, I'm naturally suspicious of people who never saw the original Star Wars movies, and even more cautious of people who loved the prequels and the sequels. I admit this is not a reliable idiot indicator. No. The best way to spot an idiot is to look for the person who is cruel. Let me explain, he goes on. When we see someone who doesn't look like us, or sound like us, or act like us, or love like us, or live like us, the very first thought that crosses almost everyone's brain is rooted in either fear or judgment or both. That's evolution. We survived as a species by being suspicious of things that we aren't familiar with. In order to be kind, we have to shut down that animal instinct and force our brain to travel a different pathway. Empathy and compassion are evolved states of being. They require the mental capacity to step past our most primal urges. This may be a surprising assessment because somewhere along the way in the last few years, our society has come to believe that weaponized cruelty is part of a well-thought-out master plan. Cruelty is seen by some as an adroit cudgel to gain power. Empathy and kindness are considered weak. Many important people look at the vulnerable only as rungs on a ladder to the top. I'm here to tell you that when someone's path through this world is marked with acts of cruelty, they have failed the first test of an advanced society. They never forced their animal brain to evolve past its first instinct. They never forged new mental pathways to overcome their own instinctual fears. And so their thinking and problem solving will lack the imagination and creativity that the kindest people have in spades. Over my many years in politics and business, I have found one thing to be universally true. The kindest person in the room is often the smartest. But as JB notes, the kindest, smartest people are not always the leaders we get, are they? Sometimes those who rise to the top are charismatic idiots. Sometimes they are the cruel ones. Those who society considers successful are often those who step on the rungs of the most vulnerable to achieve their success. They might be successful in business or politics or finance. And sometimes, like the two examples pictured on the cover, they hitch rides with others in power by telling them what they want to hear. Kristi Noem to Donald Trump, and Gregory Bovino to Noem and to her de facto chief of staff, Corey Lewandowski. It's not just the leaders that are the problem. The followers, the agents of ICE and CBP, are more often the perpetrators of the cruelty. There are mostly males in their mid-20s to mid-30s, and the organizations do seem to attract those who are suspicious or fearful of those who don't look like us, or sound like us, or act like us, or love like us, or live like us. There is a growing rise in young men flocking toward conservative Christian churches and Christian nationalism, with one pastor saying that young men are looking for leadership, they're looking for clarity, they're looking for meaning. They are finding that in patriarchal, nationalistic religions. And if your worldview is that only white Christian males are real Americans, then you might flock toward a job that allows you to enforce your will over those who are not those things. As Adam Sewer noted, there are those who take delight in harming those they see as the other. Well, what about us? What about those of us who have shut down that animal instinct and force our brain to travel that different path? Those who see the value of empathy and compassion. Those who share the values of justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity, with love at the center. Those who realize we are not greater because we make the other lesser than ourselves. Although sometimes I think the average American is, well, average, there does seem to be a growing sentiment against what ICE and the CBP are doing. Based on polling data from early 2026 this year, Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, ICE, has experienced a significant decline in public popularity, reaching some of its lowest approval ratings in recent years. A January 2026 YouGov poll found that 52% of Americans disapprove of the way ICE is handling its job, while 39% approve. A majority of Americans, 61%, now believe that ICE's actions and tactics are too tough, a number that has risen from 56% in November of 2025. Support for abolishing the agency has increased significantly, with 46% of respondents favoring the elimination of ICE in January of 2026, compared to 27% in July of 2025. Roughly 52% of Americans now view ICE as making their communities less safe. The decline in popularity is largely driven by the scrutiny of the agency's actions during the second term of President Donald Trump, specifically their aggressive tactics. Public disapproval has increased following high-profile aggressive operations and arrests, such as in Minneapolis, and increased non-criminal arrests. Data indicate a rise in the number of individuals arrested by ICE who did not have criminal records, and that's drawn criticism. According to G. Elliott Morris, Americans support strict immigration enforcement in the abstract for a vague person who has broken the law, but oppose enforcement in practice when enforcement means violence and your neighbors disappearing. Voters say yes, enforce the border, but no, don't traumatize children. Don't deport my neighbor who's lived here for 10 years. And don't kill people who are protesting. According to Civics, 42% of U.S. adults now support abolishing ICE entirely, while 50% oppose getting rid of the agency. That compares to 29% in 2018, when the phrase was a rallying cry for progressives, 21% on Election Day of 2024, and 37% in mid-2025. As of January 8th, independents have moved 15 points toward abolishing the agency in the past year. And even Republicans have increased their support for abolishing ICE by 6 points. Well, let's run through how our values speak toward why empathy, compassion, and kindness are not weak, but are the signs of an evolved state of being. We know that justice requires the due process of law, and that the Constitution demands that for everyone here, regardless of their citizen status. We know that equity declares that every person has the right to flourish with inherent dignity and worthiness. We covenant to collectively transform and grow spiritually and ethically, to not be stuck within our animal brain. We celebrate that we are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology, through our belief in pluralism. And by acknowledging our interdependence, we will nurture relationships of care and respect, mutuality and justice. And our generosity connects us all to one another in relationships of interdependence and mutuality. By keeping love at the center of how we see our neighbors, we can use our imagination and creativity to work against those instinctual fears of those who are cruel for the sake of cruelty itself. I'm going to close the way J.B. Pritzker did with this quote. And remember what Dwight Schrute said, "You only live once?" False. You live every day. You only die once. Thank you very much. Our closing words today are "Keep the Chalice Flame Burning" by Adam Slate. Be kind. Be brave. Be merciful. Be hopeful. This is how we keep the chalice flame burning until we are together again to light it anew.